if we're looking at the live stream, which by the way is going live right now on my personal YouTube live, my personal YouTube account and my Facebook account. So I'm simul streaming. Don't worry, I don't have a lot of Facebook followers. So you would be able to see that potentially on both of those pages. I'm just going to do a quick check and see how that's looking. And Francis, I'm now going to put you on air. So now you're on air, and do a quick audio test. Let's see if we can hear you, Francis.
Hello.
Hi. Yes, we can hear you. That's great.
Okay.
And so, so Francis, you just did a private chat to me, and I can chat back here.
Okay, I was just testing it.
That's great.
I am getting some feedback, reverberation, whatever.
Okay. Can you turn your microphone down a little bit? Or maybe actually I can control your audio here. Maybe that's what I need to do. So as the host, I can also control your audio, which is interesting. So I can make sure that your level and my level are about the same level once this goes live, which is cool. So I've just maximized you.
Yep, I see.
So you're the main presenter now. I can also do a picture-in-picture view. Oh, wait. Unmaximize. Okay, so we could do side-by-side views. I could do a picture-in-picture view. And next, of course, if you are the presenter, you are going to want to be able to share your screen, right? Let's say you have a PowerPoint up on your screen.
Right.
So you should see, Francis, at the bottom of your interface, like a little button that has a tiny little computer screen in it. It might have a red slash on it right now, but click that button.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay, and it might take a second for it to pop up. Let's see what happens.
Well, it's popped up on my end.
I'm not seeing that on mine.
Share audio. Window Chrome. Okay, it says choose what to share. Studio.restream.io wants to share the contents of your screen.
So hit OK.
I don't have that option.
It might be asking you to choose whether you're going to share your whole screen or share just a window within your screen. So pick one of those.
Okay. Okay. Oh, hang on 1 second. I'm sorry, I need to take this.
No problem. And conveniently, I'm able to minimize Francis for now. So I'm going to go in and take a look at the live stream on Facebook and make sure. Do different things. And there's a little bit of a lag, but it is in fact there. And in my YouTube live link, cool. So it is streaming with a link that I had previously. So last time I did this test, my link that I had sent out to users didn't work properly. That was a user error. And now we have Francis back on. Oh, whatever you just did, it was there. It was working. Do it again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Elfu. And where I goofed. I don't know what that is. Hang on. Okay, there. Okay. Yeah. So you have to click on it is the deal. Oh, and I guess.
It was almost there. I could see it. It popped up in the green room. And before I could toggle it on, it went away. There it is. Good.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to toggle it on. Now we can see your screen. And we can see a little picture-in-picture of both of us. Or I can,
Is it really tiny on your screen? I mean, literally, it is like the size of a thumbnail.
Yeah, so we can, in this interface that we're looking at, you and I can maximize the size of that. There's also some other things going on our screen right now. So for instance, I've got this chat overlay. So if somebody was in Facebook Live or on our YouTube channel, either channel, and they type a message here, then we're going to see it pop up here. So I've got this overlay. And so you can, even though you're not hearing your audience can be typing with you, and you can respond to those questions that your audience has, whether those questions are coming from Facebook or YouTube, two different audiences, all feeding into your same comment stream here.
That's
which
good.
is handy. But because I have that chat overlay turned on, it's taking up some screen width. So while you're presenting, I might hide that chat for a little bit, and that might give you some more room. If you had, so right now we've got like this picture inside of a picture inside of a picture thing happening, because you're sharing your screen, and your screen is the Restream page. But if, for example, you pulled up PowerPoint, it would fill your screen.
Let me pull up. I guess it's like some of the others that that you have to have. That you have to have it open. Okay, so for example, okay, can you see that?
Yep, I'm going to toggle it on now. Good.
Okay.
Okay. So now you're sharing that folder window with us, and you can see that folder window. And with my views, I can sort of shift whether you see us down in the bottom, or maybe you don't even want to see us.
No longer there. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Oh, I was talking to you. You couldn't hear me because I turned my video off.
Yeah.
So I was
Okay, is that what happened?
Time and nothing was happening. Okay. So interesting, something to note for the host. If I toggle off our videos, our audio is tied to the video. So I'm going to have to keep a view, at least in a little minimal thumbnail, or, some cinema view where we can always see somebody down here. If I toggle it off, our audio is gone too.
Okay. Okay.
So that's interesting to know. But as the host, if you want to toggle yourself off so that you aren't being heard, if you cough or type or something, that's a good thing too, right?
But you can just mute or turn off the camera.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So if the camera is off, can you hear me?
I still can. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I cannot hear you right now. No.
Okay. Okay.
So what's kind of neat about this is that both you and the host are in control. I, as a host, can mute you. So right now, if you're talking,
so I'm muted. You can't hear me talk.
Well, it says you're muted, but I can hear you talk, so that didn't work.
Yeah. Now this said, I see the host has unmuted me. So when you had me muted, you could still hear me though. It didn't do anything. Okay. So I'm muted now, so you cannot hear me.
Oh, I still can. So that's not working as one would expect.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if that is muted, that I would be muted to everyone else, but the host can still hear.
Oh, that's quite possible. It'll be interesting to go back and view this before I delete it from. can find that out.
Yeah, yeah.
So cool. It looks like on my interface, I can see a little icon at the top of the video.
Yeah.
That you can see how many people are viewing. If you hover over that, you can see the channels that they're viewing it on. So it looked like there was somebody looking at this stream from my Facebook account just a second ago. They dropped off because probably bring them to tears. But what's cool is you and I can both see that. So as the host and the presenter, you can see how many people are watching right now in live and whether those people are on Facebook or YouTube Live, which I think is a really cool thing.
Okay. Okay. So I see the Facebook little symbol, and then just the arrow is...
That's YouTube. The red.
Okay. Okay.
The arrow is the YouTube logo.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's a neat feature.
Yeah.
We also have our names down at the bottom. It looks like you were able to find out where to put that in, so that's sort of the presenter's nameplate there.
Yeah.
And so the next test we can do, if you want, Francis, we can do a test where you actually run this as a host if you want to do that before you officially propose this to our chapters. But I'm really thinking that this is the way to go.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. And quite honestly, I feel like my head is not at a place at the moment to concentrate on something so completely new and, to me, intimidating. So my preference would be to wait on that because I would not be the one hosting it. It would be the chapters that would be hosting it, right?
Fair enough. Yeah, absolutely. So the next question for you then is, what do you recommend? Where do you recommend we start? Who do you recommend we start with? Guilford? What's the next upcoming event that you want to try this with?
I would say Guilford would be a good group because they are intact, they are every month, and they have some technology people in their group.
Good.
So I think that would be a good group to start with. I had a question. I think the bigger issue for me, I mean, this certainly addresses the question they had about, well, can we do Facebook Live and YouTube Live? So this answers that question. The question, I think the bigger issue from where I sit is the registration process and how we interface all of that. So that's really seamless.
So the outstanding question there is attaining user email addresses, right? So it's not really, it's seamless. It's easy enough because this is going to be always on our YouTube channel. So if a user goes to our ACAP YouTube channel, they'll be seeing these live feeds, right? We also have the ability to send out a link specifically to this scheduled event, but for the sake of the flyer, we don't have to do that. We just go to youtube.com/ACAP or whatever URL we give them.
Okay, wait, time me out.
Yeah, sorry.
No, because, so many different questions with all of this. Number one, I love that blouse you have on. I have one that is almost identical to it, and I love it. Wear it all the time. So we're twins. Okay, so shoot, you just said something about the flyer. Okay, so on the flyer you have a URL. Now, is that for registering for the program, or is that just joining the program?
So what I'm recommending is that we kind of eliminate the register word from our vernacular. Users no longer have to register for events, for better or worse. The upside of that is we get more people, right? And that's our big goal, is to get more people. These events, somebody can stumble on them. Somebody can be searching for, the name of the event. It might have a keyword in it like Medicare. Somebody searches YouTube for Medicare. They don't have to do anything. We go live. They're like, yes, let me be a part of that content. And they're there.
Right, right.
The downside of not having a registration process, as you know, is not having we know who all of these people are. They're our database. So this is a shift. We're going to have to shift from having this, we're only letting people that we know see this content, to this is live content. We have an audience. That audience is not necessarily documented, right? This is an anonymous audience now. So what we have to do instead to convert our audience, what we have to do instead is we have to convert our audience into recurring audiences. So therefore, we would need to sort of bake in a plan at the end of our program or in the description of our program, a link to sign up for email, a link to visit our website, and then, bake them into users who will come back to us time and time again based on what you want to do with them.
Okay. Part of what I'm thinking is if part of what we are trying to do is to get more names for a fundraising perspective, then how does all of this work to that end?
Tell me about the fundraising perspective.
Well, like when we send out an end of year appeal to everyone on the database, if we have 1,000 people who are watching the monthly programs, but we don't know who they are, then there's no way for us to send that out.
Well, it's opt-in. It's not. They will have the ability to sign up for our email list if they want to, and they can do that from at the beginning of the video. We start as a presenter. We say, make sure, if you want to be in touch with us, make sure you go to acapcommunity.org and sign up for our email list. Go to ACAP community. It's something that we sort of add to the script of every presentation, and add to the written description of these videos, so that when they're scheduling the events that they want to take part in later, and I'll show you what it looks like, but the written description of the video ends with, to see future events or to be aware of all upcoming future events, visit acapcommunity.org/email and sign up for our email list. We have to ask them to sign up for our email list.
So this is really a little bit like what we say to our sponsors during in-person programs, or particularly in-person programs. We want you to come, we want you to interact, but we will not give you the names of people sitting there. If they want further contact, they will need to give you that information. So it's the same kind of thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, by doing this on YouTube Live, we turn our events from pre-registered events to a publication. It becomes a broadcast. So think of it's going from like a meeting to more like a on-air channel. It's a scheduled TV show that happens every third Thursday of the month. And we don't know who's watching this on TV. They're watching it. It's fine. We can ask those people if they want to get on our email list. But that's all we know.
Is this sort of the direction that everyone is going in? Is this the current trend, like with the YouTube channel?
Well, it depends on your goal. If you want private closed content, and that's been part of the problem, is we have some conflicting goals that we're trying to sort out. If you want private closed content and a closed community of people, then you're looking at doing these event-based or request-based meetings, invitation-based meetings. If your goal is to try to grow your community, then this is the route to go, because you don't have to control those people. It's sort of letting go of the control of that content and just, I'm publishing content, and whoever wants to enjoy this content, whether they want to tell me their name or not, that's okay. This is content for the world to engage in if they want it.
You are so sweet and so kind and so diplomatic. And I think it's a both and. I think what I have observed is that the community is those people who are sitting there in person. There really is not community online. And maybe that's really what we are finding over and over with COVID, is that the community of people that forming and maintaining community has to have an in-person component. And there is a huge gap
I
if you
disagree with
don't.
you there, though. I really, really do. I hard disagree with you there. And
Okay.
I think that's a shift that we have to make about what the term community means.
Okay.
Because for me, I've been working remotely since long before COVID, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
And I have to have community. I have it. Yes, being in person sometimes is important, but it is equally vital that we create a sense of community even when in person isn't possible, even when the person doesn't want that in-person contact. Let's take, for example, an audience like somebody who is living in home with their in-home. They are providing round-the-clock care to their aging parent, and they literally can't go out. They can't leave that parent. We want to give that person a community, whether or not they can go and be in that building.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. I think what I'm saying is that I think community is different. And again, maybe this is, being old and set in my ways and just not getting it. Um, I think I I think there is nothing that replaces. See, I don't know. I was about to say I think there is nothing that replaces in person. I think maybe it is that there is value to being in person, but there is an equal but different value to being a virtual community. I guess because of this nation's history with equal but different, equal but separate, that feels uncomfortable to me to say they are both of equal value. And maybe this is just my thing. And I'm talking about the integration.
Different purposes. They have different purposes. So
Okay.
maybe let's look at it like this. If you're more comfortable with the idea of community being that in-person community, then in 2022, that still exists. We're not taking that away.
Right.
We can set this restream up to be getting those other people who aren't able to be there in person to be involved in that community. But if that's the community that you want to grow is in person, then that's still fine. That's still valid, and that's okay. Because there is definitely been isolated in my house for a long time. There's definitely a value to seeing people in the flesh, face to face, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then the other part of your organization's mission is to provide resources. And you cannot say you're only going to provide resources to people if they're there in person.
Oh, no.
So
No,
if we start to look at these programs as resources rather than community, or in addition to community, then they need to be available to everyone, whether or not that person is ready to give you their email address or ready to go be live in person with you. Right? Something to think about.
Yeah, and you're right. I think it is a shift in understanding, a shift in understanding what ACAP really now, in such a digital world, how ACAP functions and what ACAP does. it feels like there is a shift going on, and probably it's good that we basically have 2 years for me to make that shift. Um, Probably a lot of other people get it much quicker, but because I'm so entrenched in it, I'm just having. It's not that I'm saying no, and I feel like I'm all over the place. I absolutely see the value in having programs accessible, come one, come all. I have no disagreement with that at all. I know that registrations are off putting. The reason we have registration for in person programs is really to know how much refreshments and how many materials to come prepared with. That's the reason.
And once we restart in-person programs, I think we should absolutely separate the in-person registration from the online registration.
And I think that's going to be a key.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that doesn't have anything to do with this interface. That's actually going to have something to do with my recommendation for your upcoming events on your website and the features that they should have within them. So again, we've got a year to figure that part out. But what I hear you saying is you're getting comfortable with the idea of this live content versus doing an event registration for the virtual programs. You're still a little bit uncomfortable and want to make sure that we continue to capture email addresses through this.
If at all possible. But yes, yeah.
But you're getting more comfortable with the idea.
Yeah. I think I think very honestly, if we said there is no way at all to capture email addresses, I probably still would be saying, but it's important information. And so we do it. If there is a way to capture email addresses and potentially other information, thinking grants, thinking what kind of demographics might we need. But if there's a way to capture all of that without people having to register for the programs, then I would have to remember why we started registration in the first place.
Well, let me tell you, in terms of, if you take the give me your email address part out of it, if it's demographics you're looking for, we're gonna have all of that because we have double data. We have analytics through Restream, and we have analytics through YouTube, and triple data because I've just signed us up for Google Analytics for your website as of today. So we're gonna have all of that data and all the way down to the demographics of who's watching, how long they're watching, which parts they're watching, and how engaged.
So we will have the demographics of the technology piece. We would need to devise a way to determine what is your age, who are you caring for, what is your race and ethnicity, those kinds of social demographics, if you will. This would not capture that, correct?
No. If I capture it, or it won't capture age specifically, but we can make some assumptions on some broad demographic levels, and we'll look at analytics later.
Okay.
Those other caregiver types of questions, we probably want to think through how many we ask and what types we ask and why, because you're into some real delicate type of content there that users are probably not going to want to give you unless you're very specific about why you're asking those questions.
Right. Yeah. I understand all that. Yeah.
So I need to end this live chat because I've got to get back to Biltmore. But I think if you're okay with it, let me think. Next steps would be to do a training video, and then propose that we start with Guilford, with Guilford's June session. Give them a little bit of time to get trained, get comfortable, get this all set up on the ACAP YouTube page. Should I email all of the ACAP chapter coordinators.
That's what I was just wondering. We are meeting tomorrow, symposium from 10 to 11 and chapter coordinators 11 to 12. Do you have the time? Do you want to be with us tomorrow?
Tomorrow from 11 to 12, I don't have any meetings scheduled. So I could pop in.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I could pop in at 11.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Come at 11. I will send you the link. And I need to send Mark the link too. I will send you the link and yeah, pop in whenever you can.
Okay. So during that, I'll be prepared to talk about Restream, maybe show what it looks like. I'll show this video and request that Guilford be our first user guinea pig on the ACAP channel.
Okay.
And answer any questions they might have about that concept.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Keep dragging me along. I really can learn. Just keep dragging me along.
I'm telling you, you're not going to be able to say you're not good at technology by the end of the year. Try as you might.
That's fine. That's fine. Just today, no. Talk to you later.
Take care. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go. Bye.
Bye.